Have you ever heard, do what you love and the money will follow? Well, I haven't found anyone who's willing to pay me for laying on the beach and eating Mexican food. That's why I created the $1 Million Equation, the fastest, easiest way to generate loads of cash quickly. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I should tell you a little bit about me. For many years, I was the only female African-American public utility owner in the nation. I owned a telephone company. So how does a little girl from Riverside, California own a telephone company? Well, it is kind of a funny, interesting story. I was dating 3 men in 3 different states and had a really high telephone bill. I built the company from $300,000 to $36 million. I bought it from my boss, and if you think that wearing all black is slimming, then can you imagine how cute I was with a pocket full of green? Then tragedy struck, and I lost it all after 9/11. But the good news is I rebuilt back my $1 million business in about 5 months. Things were really great for a while. I had a baby, and then I had 2 funerals, and at that point I decided something needed to change. I wanted to be on that beach, so I decided to sell my telephone company. Well, the buyer, turns out, defaulted, lost his business, lost my business, and again I was sitting there having to do something. At that point I said, God, really? Seriously? And out of the sky came my first private client. Except for he was a gynecologist. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I can't wait to go to the gynecologist. But I put on my big girl panties and took that opportunity and built his business from $384,000 to $1.2 million in 9 months. And at that time, I realized the lesson God wanted me to learn. I was supposed to be here, that I did have a system, that I knew how to build $1 million businesses, and that's when I detailed out the $1 Million Equation, the fastest, easiest way to get loads of cash quickly. I can't wait to help you.
Welcome to this episode of Straight No Chaser. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to not confuse activity for productivity and my famous green pen theory. Come over to the bar. Let's have a chat.
Hey, welcome again to Straight No Chaser. Today's episode is all about answering your questions. So I love the questions. Keep them coming. And here's what today's question was. Richelle, seems like I'm working so much harder in my business and I'm not generating a lot of money. What would you suggest? Really? Seriously? Okay, so here's my solution to that is number 1, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Are you confusing activity for productivity? Are you just running around to networking groups, not really forming relationships? Are you talking to people who can actually be your target market and can pay you money? The majority of the time you go out and you just love networking with these people because it feels good. It makes you feel like you're doing something instead of really making you money. So the first thing that I want you to do is track what you do in every single day. I want you to know in 15-minute increments. Tell me what you're doing. Really? What most of y'all are doing is just playing around. You're talking to your friends, you go and meet somebody for lunch, you go to Starbucks, you're doing all of these things that keep you from the money. So, very funny story is that when I first decided that I wanted to lose weight, you can tell I'm a chubby, zofted girl, is what I tended to do was go and buy stuff. I did a lot of activity. I went and I bought new sneakers, I joined a gym, I bought new sporting equipment, I hired a personal trainer, all shit that was not getting the weight off of me. That's silly. Now, if I would have spent that same time just getting off my ass and walking around the block 17 times, I would have been halfway to goal. But I wasn't. I was confusing activity for productivity. Just stuff that made me feel like I was doing something, but the scale never changed. And that's what's going on in your business. You feel like you're doing something, but the scale is never changed. So here is the secret that I teach all of my private coaching clients and really helps them to catapult their business to the next. Number 1 is stop confusing activity for productivity. Number 2 is track everything that you're doing to make sure that you see what happens. And then take your to-do list and make it an action list. I don't want it to say to do, make it action. From this, you get my favorite, the green pen theory. Then I want you to look exactly at that list, at your action list, and circle everything that makes you money. And now I make my coaching clients send that to me so I can see everything on that list that makes them money. That's how you prioritize your day. What's making you money? Checking email is not making you money. Going to a networking that no one there can pay you money is not making you money. It can't be green. So you look at your list, you find what's green, and you do what's green, and everything else can wait. So my mom was really mad at me when she didn't make the green list. So she said, hey, did you go to the grocery store to get the things I want? I said, oh, Mom, it wasn't green. Sorry about that. But that's how you have to live your life as an entrepreneur to make sure you're getting shit done. You got to get it done, and you got to get it done so that it's generating income in your business, because if it isn't, you're never going to make it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. Feel free to share it with your friends and leave a comment for me at the bottom, and then let me know how you're doing. Hey, I have some exciting things coming that if you are inspired to build your own $1 million business after today's episode, I think you will learn infinitely more by grabbing a free copy of my book, How to Build a $1 Million Business Without the Casinos. And you can grab it at my website, www.themilliondollar.equation.com.